Welcome to The Hardest Part, the show that breaks down some of the hardest songs ever written. I'm Kieron Banerji, and joining me on today's show is Anna B. Savage.
I guess of all of the tracks that I've written, I guess in the past I definitely spent a lot of time worrying about the songs that I was writing. And my newer kind of approach to songwriting is trying to let things be a bit more organic, a bit, not quicker, but just a bit less painful. Okay. The first album felt really hard, and I just want to make the experience nice for myself. Okay. But this song, so I knew that this album, I knew kind of the concept of this third album before I'd even written the second one. So everything I was writing, I was kind of funneling into one of two camps. It was either the second album or the third album. Yeah. And I funneled this into the third album, and I probably started writing it 2.5 years before I ended up even recording it. But when I say started writing it, I mean I had, maybe the verse and a kind of verse 2, and I knew that there was something in it, but I had no idea how to get to it. Just took such a long time and such a lot of kind of wrangling to get it to a point where I felt like it was actually what I wanted it to be. So that's why I chose it.
So when you had those sort of tough creative blocks and sort of this change up of how you're writing as well, how did you overcome those blocks?
It's a really boring answer. I just kept writing.
Kept on going?
Yeah, because I used to think that creative block meant that I was... Can I swear on this?
You may.
Okay.
I welcome it.
Okay, great. Fucking great. I used to think that having a creative block meant that I was a piece of shit and I couldn't write and I was like garbage and, that was me finished. And slowly I realised that that's completely untrue. And unfortunately, the only way to keep writing is to keep writing. You just have to show up every day, and it's not glamorous, and it's really annoying. Yeah. And I think when I was younger, I just consumed so much literature about, the kind of divine inspiration thing, or like waking up from a dream and you have this whole song or like a whole album. That never happened for me. So I'd just been sat waiting for years being like, okay, divine inspiration, please. So that was the only way that I worked out how to actually work through the blocks, is just to work.
I'm always fascinated by that question. It's sort of, we've had different answers from so many different artists, and no one's is ever really the same. And no one's has ever been just right through it, get on with it, chuck on, and it'll be fine.
I mean, it's really annoying. Like, if someone had said that to me when I was in my creative block, I would have been like, fuck you very much.
You, thank you. Thanks for your fantastic advice.
Yeah, exactly. But like, when I say right through it, I don't necessarily mean like sit in the same spot and, really, murder yourself to get something out. It's more like, be gentle with yourself, go away for like 20 minutes, come back, maybe work on something else, try, playing the chords on the piano if you've been playing it on the guitar, like move stuff around and see if you can find something in it in a slightly different format, but don't just walk away. Yeah. Because that's what I did before, and that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to make an EP in the first place, and then why there was such a big gap between my EP and my album, because I let myself walk away. And I was like, oh, I can't do it.
The day I arrived, I dove into the sea and pleaded, Donegal, please look after me. I broke the surface and the cold water shocked me. It brought me to, I said, I'll look after you too.
Coming away from the actual writing process, maybe let's talk about some of the thematic elements of the track. It's based a lot around your heritage as well, so maybe you could talk us through what the song's actually about.
I guess very broad strokes, it's about me trying to find a home. Slightly less broad strokes, it's about me, an English person, trying to find a home in Ireland, a place famously which was horribly destroyed by English colonisation. There were so many different themes that I wanted to be able to pack into this song, but that definitely felt like something where I really wanted to be intentional and appropriate with the way that I was expressing it, because being like, I'm worried about finding myself a home, or like, do I feel at home here? And then actually, I don't have necessarily any right to find a home here. Yeah. And trying to wangle that all into a song, that felt quite hard, because obviously songs, you want them to be not 45 minutes long and a kind of think piece. Yeah. So trying to kind of whittle down the language into moments where I could express the discomfort also that I felt like the more I learn about English history, which hilariously I didn't learn at school or anything.
It's funny how they do that.
Yeah, amazing. And, I used to live in Canada.
Yeah.
And when I was in Canada, I was doing land acknowledgements before every show. And I had no idea about residential schools. I had no idea about all the horrifying history of cultural and literal genocide that the English colonising, amorphous blob was enacting on Indigenous peoples in Canada. I moved back and then I moved to Ireland and I was like, Jesus Christ, like this, there is nowhere in the world that this hasn't touched.
It's humans, isn't it? Like wherever humans have been, there's always some trace of animosity with that, and it's
absolutely,
it's kind of unescapable, right? I was talking to someone about it the other day, and it's like you can come to terms with one situation and you go somewhere else and it's same shit, different day, different angle. It's humans.
It's humans. It's also like British Empire. It was really interesting to feel like I had such learning and such a kind of awakening and a reckoning. Not personally, but just in terms of, well, also personally, I guess, but just in terms of actually becoming more aware of history.
It's a really interesting one. I'm half Indian, half English, and was brought up here in the UK. Spent a lot of time in India, but only really as I sort of got to an age where I went by myself to like learn about my culture and my sort of heritage there. Do you start to like see these like really concerning dilemmas about sort of both sides of my heritage? And it's like you go around the Taj Mahal and all the lovely things that you're meant to go there and see aren't there.
Oh my God.
And no one ever really knows quite how to address it with me about like which side I'd be on. Or like, it's very strange. And once again, something that I never learnt about. Something that I completely just had to learn for myself. Went to school here my whole life.
It's
kind of weird.
It feels pretty disgusting to have that kind of awakening when you're older. I mean, like realising the formulaic nature of not teaching any of it in schools. I feel like I learn about the Tudors every fucking year. Like I know Henry VIII's life. Battle
of Hastings.
Battle of Hastings.
Knows the date.
Exactly.
Why do I know this?
I actually remember seeing there was a clip of Kneecap, and it was before I knew who they were. And I just saw this clip of them, and they were talking about how it's really interesting that in Germany they're taught all about their history, all about the Second World War. Like it's very much part of the curriculum. It's very much like having the knowledge is really an important part of their culture now, whereas English culture is just not that. And I feel like that spans everything. It's really apparent in Ireland. People often say the UK when they mean mainland UK, because they're not thinking about Northern Ireland or like there's so many linguistic things as well that are so telling, and I by no means know everything, and I'm not perfect, and I'm still learning constantly, but it's been a journey. And I basically wanted to make sure that I was trying to be as kind of transparent and also respectful of that as I possibly could within the confines of a song about me, trying to find somewhere to live and feel comfortable and live my kind of adult life.
For me, with you forever. Today I joined the well-trodden queue of British people desperately in love with you. Aware of history and our vast lack of knowledge. Can I even be here? I swear I'll honour my promise.
It was interesting. So, I mean, how does your creative process change when you're writing about a feeling? I think what's quite interesting when it's less matter of fact, it's less literal way of writing, and because feelings develop, I always kind of think it's like a strange thing to like put that there in time. Because that's going to mean something very different to you living there in 3 years,
that's
4
so
years,
true.
5 years. Is that a conscious part of your songwriting process? Is like, how does this song remain relevant to how I feel about this subject, although I'm writing it today, knowing that those feelings will develop?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think, I feel like I often want to be as emotionally honest within that moment as I can. And actually within this song as well, like my feelings were, I didn't know what my feelings were. I was still kind of grappling with it. So trying to pinpoint how to express it while still not really knowing what the end point was, that felt really difficult as well. So I think that's why, you know, over the space of 2 years, I was just constantly rewriting it, like changing different lines. I like the idea of a song or an album or a piece of creative work as a kind of homage to maybe a moment in time. And I feel like this song is maybe just a homage to a slightly larger moment in time. Like sometimes songs, you know, they come out in a couple of days and tweak them afterwards and stuff. But yeah, this one definitely felt like it was a real, I had to keep updating it and keep kind of grappling with it to try and express that kind of emotional truth that I felt, even though I didn't quite know how to express that emotional truth.
We always finish these interviews with the same question, and it comes from this place where there's a band I really liked, they released an album, everyone was going on about it, saying it was great, I listened to it, it wasn't great, and there's like one specific song in there that everyone's going on about, which I particularly didn't like, and then I listened to an interview with the lead singer talking about the song, and it became my favourite song of theirs. He was addressing nuances and the dynamic of his vocal and why it meant that to that lyric and stuff. What I would like to ask you is, our audience are about to listen to a beautiful stripped back version of the song now. Is there anything you want them to specifically listen out for that's going to change the way they experience how they listen to this?
The rhythm, it's in a kind of 3/4 or 6/8, I don't really know which, but like a kind of, it's slightly lilting, it's got a slightly interesting movement to it, which I've accentuated quite a lot with there's like a turn in the middle where the chords go a lot faster, and the kind of refrain in the chorus of like "out here with me forever" or something to that effect. But I feel like the 3/4 mixed with that sudden quickness into the kind of slowness, for me that feels kind of like the feelings that I was feeling when I wrote it. You know, you get into a rhythm and then suddenly you're jolted out of it, but it's still within the same wheelhouse, but it just feels slightly different. I think I gravitate to 3/4 a lot, or to 6/8. I find something really comforting and comfortable in it. In the song I talk about being next to the sea and like jumping into the sea and kind of asking, I guess, Donegal to help me in my kind of trying to find a place to live. And then I catch myself and I'm like, oh shit, like it's so self-centered, like obviously I will do my bit as well, like it's not just a one-way thing. And yeah, I think that 3/4 rhythm, that, or potentially 6/8 rhythm, I wish I knew. How do you tell?
In the comment box, everyone.
Yeah, that rhythm to me feels like that. It feels like, you know, the sea is kind of coming in and reminding me gently but also repeatedly that like I need to kind of check myself. The little turn moments are kind of moving around in the waves. I've taken this metaphor in a bad direction, but yeah, the rhythm to me feels like how the emotional nexus of the song feels. So that's, I guess, what I would want people to try and sit with it, let it kind of wash over you, but maybe try and inhabit it a bit as well.
Anna, thanks for joining us on The Hardest Part.
Thanks so much.
The day I arrived, I dove into the sea and pleaded, Donegal, please look after me. I broke the surface and the cold water shocked me. It brought me to, I said, I'll look after you too. The day I left home, my mother said to me, whatever you do, don't fall in love, please come back to me. Well, I'm sorry, Mum, I've gone and done it. The moss and the views and that lovely man too. Is there a home out here for me forever? Have I found home forever? Is there a home out here for me with you forever? Have I found home here for me with you forever? Today I joined the well-trodden queue of British people desperately in love with you, aware of history and our vast lack of knowledge. Can I even be here? I swear I'll honour my promise. 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 Here for me forever. Is there a home out here for me with you forever? Have I found home here for me with you forever? Donegal, please look after me.
Thanks for tuning in to The Hardest Part. Make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube, where you can watch the full session. I'm Kieron Banerji. I'll see you next time.